Good evening. The maze construct. There's been stories, movies, people retelling the same message over and over again. Is it true? Indeed, it is. This is a maze. Before I get into it, I want to share something personal. I remember seeing this, I believe, waking up from a dream. At that time, it sort of seemed like a nightmare. I was very young. I was living in Connecticut then, and I was definitely younger than 8. And I'm sharing this because I know it is important. I know that it sticks and stays with me. The vision, the feeling it gives every time I go to that place. I go to that vision. It's there. It's so vivid. As time has come and gone, I've been able to control my mind from thinking about it because it gives me a weird feeling. I've always described it as disgust. Kind of twists my stomach. The dream or the nightmare when you're young, it definitely was a nightmare because it always, and it still does, give me that feeling, that weird, disgusting feeling every time I think back to it. So it does make my stomach turn. I can never truly describe it, like to understand what it all meant, because it was bigger than me. And now that I'm speaking out about it, it seems like my spirit wants to make sense of it now that I'm older. But the vision was this. I was in this place, of course, and it was dark. And I was small. And it seemed to be like a maze. It seemed to be like constructed. So, what you would see if you were to draw lines and then cross them and then keep crossing them. And in between, somewhere in those lines, I lied. There was I. Just that, just that alone. I do remember I did notice something else, but it wasn't, it's not as memorable, but I believe things would turn. You see, like me being in the midst of it, it would move the lines, the this big maze that I was in. And it always given me a disgusting feeling. Like every time I would wake up, well, when I would wake up from it, when I woke up from it, and then ever since then as a child, if I thought about it, if I thought about that vision, which is stuck with me, it doesn't bother me. It hasn't bothered me lately in my big age, in my 20s. I as I as I'm telling these things, I can think back and it's still there, but it used to be very very much there that it'd be so vivid that it would make my stomach turn. I'd feel disgusted. And it's starting to make sense because there was nothing else to it. It felt like a maze. It was like construction, like tubes and metal. Like that was the material. And I was just like in the midst of it. And it wasn't so much of me seeing it, it was the feeling, because when I came from out of it, it made me disgusted. And I would always think how I would always think, like, what was it? What is that? It's weird. But it's as weird as it is, it's interesting. And now knowing what I know, it's very interesting. Because I do know that this world is a maze of its own, constructed. And then within that maze, people make mazes and snares and traps constructed by them. It's all a maze. Your mind is all of it, the message. It's like the cube, you can't really escape it. It's an escape room. Can't really escape it without sacrifice, but it is a maze, and that's my point. See, when I think back to that vision, I feel it. I feel that disgust. What's giving me that disgusting feeling? It's what I'm in. And all I see is lines. Like, I hate to say lines because it's not. It's metal. It's metal constructed. All of it. And the place is the setting is dark. It's a dark place. But when I was younger, I used to always think, okay, if I could describe it, it'd be inside of a clock. Because there's so many things like turning and everything's metal, and that's how I described it. And then I left it alone. I never questioned it because I didn't really want to think about it because my mind would go there sometimes throughout the years when I was younger. And this was happening when I was like 7, 6, like around that age when I first witnessed it. And I believe it happened in a nightmare or a dream, but I know that when I woke up, it always stuck with me. And I know I was just like, what is that? What was that? Because it was different. It was so different, and it obviously is because it stuck with me since I was a child. And it gave me a different feeling, a feeling of disgust. And I said, okay, it's like a clock, inside of a clock. Only because, not that it looked like a clock, but that things were moving, turning. And I was just in there. And I think that's where the disgust comes from, because I was uncomfortable, of course. Very uncomfortable. Like it messed with my my mind, it messed with my eyes. It didn't show me trying to escape. It didn't show that. It just showed that I was in this place. And it made me uncomfortable. It made me disgusted. When I came out of it, of course. And that was it. And I know that Father will tell me exactly what that was when I'm with him, but just for me to reflect on it now is, I know it's very deep because of, again, the things that I know now and me using that vision, and it inspired me to make this live. Maze constructed. What does that mean? Well, it's just like what you've heard, what you've seen, and people's portrayal of it. You know, I typically describe this world just in a down to earth way, I guess, like Girl Next Door. Well, a woke one at that, but I know I can interpret this world in different ways to see the message. And so this being a maze is exactly that. I say a maze because can you really escape? But there is a way. That's the whole point of a maze. You're going to be there for a while. It's going to confuse you. You're going to get lost. Most importantly, it's dark. Like in a cornfield. Once you're in, you're in. And you have to find your way out. But you can't see. And so within that, all the things that you have to choose to use. Like your patience, all the things that your mind can go to. Finding that there's other people in this field, in this maze. Working with them or going against them. So this world is a maze. And we've been in this maze for generations. People die in this maze. People have children in the maze. Right? We were all born in a maze. But it was constructed not to enjoy, but to survive. Not to live, but to die. So you can see why a person can forget that this is a maze, because it is a place where you can dwell and you can live and you eat and you can grow and teach and exalt yourself or be exalted and lead. But never forget what this is. The person that's leading only exalted themselves, or someone exalted them, but did the construct exalt them? Whoever is looking at us, watching us in this maze, did they appoint you? Or did you appoint yourselves? When we could work together, we choose not to. There's rivalries, there's war. Family become enemies. We're all strangers, really, as I speak of individuals in a maze. You can't trust anybody in the darkness because everyone's trying to survive. And then now they have their own families, so they're only trying now to survive for their family. Who are you, really? It's become this, and it's becoming. But if you only never forget, it becomes a myth, a story, a movie that now you tell your children, but you're living in it. The story is about you. The movie is this. But the person that's in it doesn't want you to know that. You would think they would, but they've exalted themselves so high, that they eat so good, that they're treated so well, that they wouldn't want to enter that. They become a god in this maze. And here is a god watching these people. People exalt themselves as gods. People exalt themselves to be bigger than what they are. They watch. They watch and see how the people just allow such a being to be more than what he is, she is, to have power over you. When each of us has power, each of us doesn't have to listen. Each of us has rights. Each of us can choose, you see, to do whatever we want to do. That we don't have to follow anyone in this maze. We don't have to listen to anyone in this maze. Just like we don't have to work. But, in this maze, they made it so that if you don't work, you don't get paid. And if you don't get paid, you don't eat. Because they rationed all the food, the natural food. And so, there it is. Now we reliant on another human. Now they clearly have our lives in their hands. So we eat from them. Understanding, but that's the truth. A human being, just a human being that has been given this power, that has wanted this power of a God, when she herself, is in this maze. She herself is lost, stuck. But if you're going to be stuck, if you're going to be lost, might as well be comfortable. Might as well make a life in it. Make something out of nothing. That's the philosophy, right? We can make it beautiful. Really? You're using that message? It's a wise message. But I don't think so, sir. Not in the maze. Let's get outside of the maze. We got to get out of here. We have to get out of this snare, of this pit, of this dungeon, of this prison. We have to break out of these bonds that keep us bound. You know, there is more than this. It's more than this. Let God be my judge. Not you, man. Let God be my judge. But you have human beings judging in judges' seats. In the maze. We're in the maze, they have to survive too, so they'll do anything to save themselves, to keep that seat. Just to survive. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. So in this maze, generationally, we're born into the maze. Your children's born into the maze, and the sin and the darkness blinded because of the generations before not telling them the truth, not remembering. That should be scary, frightening. That should make you feel uncomfortable, disgusted. It's all become like a Sodom and Gomorrah city where to ease the pain and sorrow, we get drunk, drugs, potions, and poisons ultimately. I mean, this is what it's led to. More sleep, more drowsiness, more for the enemy to mock God through us. When we got to stay awake, when we're supposedly leaders and we're supposedly head of households. It's a disgraceful thing, is it not, to look down in the maze and see such things? It's not easy. Well, it is. It's not hard to stand out nowadays. Back in the day, moving back in the day, there was more of us. There was more of us awake. There was more. Everything was much more. Now it's only a few, and it's not hard to see. Who's set apart, who's walking a narrow path. So they have these different depictions of it. The way is broad and many go through, so you envision that. And then you see a narrow path and you only see a few only go through, a few only find it. You vision that. So many different concepts to see that vision, to see that message. Because it's so easy to see when he looks down. Because everyone has fallen asleep. For, again, understandable reasons, but there's accountability and there's still the truth. That in this maze where we were supposed to try to get out, and yeah, we get tired, and then we start to give in to potions and poisons, and with that comes addictions and comfortability, and then years pass by and now it's left for the next generations. Yeah. Whereas the truth was still the truth and always will be the truth. I've said what has happened. I said the truth. I said in an understandable way. I said in an understandable way. But that is not going to fix it. That is not going to save us. That is not going to make it go away. To make things go away, to break chains, curses, to break this, is to keep the truth alive. It's not to soothe the person and say it's going to be okay. That just drink this potion, you'll feel better. But only temporarily. So you go back to it and you go back to it and you go back to it. And it's every day, every day. Soothing it, really not, because it's really destroying you. But again, it's destroying everything. It's destroying your lineage, it's destroying everything. But soothing for a temporary time, soothing you. It's not soothing me. It's not soothing the rest of us. It's not soothing your lineage. It's mocking it. There's only sorrow when your ancestors looks upon us, because it seems hopeless, because you're stuck in another snare that they've entrapped you with. Right? They program these things. They showcase it. And then you yourselves are coming out with new potions and poisons to add to it. All these liquid potions. I just came out with this new liquid potion. Toxic potion, by the way. We know the names for this. Yeah, I just got this brand. This is the brand. This is what I mean. When is it going to stop? You see, that doesn't save us. It doesn't break the bonds. It keeps them on. Ugh. I felt disgusted in that moment. Why? Because hypocrites, people that claim to be somebody, claim to be somebody's mother, father, someone's leader, someone's God, someone's teacher, someone's mentor. Deceivance, such deceivance, such lies. Giving credit, becoming rich, getting rewards for lies and deceit. Winning people's souls, them losing their souls. all because of lies and deceit. All because of you that lie. But because you're receiving such rewards and you're comfortable, it's okay. You should be in fear. Not in fearment of man, because clearly man is gravitating to you. They've allowed you to listen to them. I'm sorry, they allowed you to lead them. You should be in fear of God, the judgment. Because someone like me is looking at you in such disgust. Because clearly you shouldn't be in those seats. But you clearly have the power. You clearly have people's attention. You're clearly living in this darkness, in this maze, if that's what you call it. When it should have never came to this, we should have all just been working together. That's where you see people do anything for money, for gain in this maze. Because, oh, they're just trying to survive. So you're going to sell your soul? You're going to go against your soul, your morals, for a little bit of what? For a little bit of comfortability? I spoke about this in my testimony. For a little bit of comfortability. How comfortable can you be if you can't see? How comfortable can you be in darkness? I can only imagine to go to bed at night in fear that you could lose everything that you never worked for at any moment, at a blink of an eye, or just from the world and worldly people coming after you, whether you worked for it or not. People are unruly, living in an unruly world. No one's truly safe, are they, in this maze? You have come to see that people do a lot of things when the door is closed and the lights are off. Can't see it from the surface because you'd never believe. Oh, I would never believe that this little sweet face could do that. Oh, you don't know. You must not know. The things that have happened, and it still is, behind closed doors when the lights are off and when the lights are on. That's how bad, that's how widespread of acceptance it's become. They say we can actually show them what we do and they'll forget tomorrow, or they won't have the energy to do anything about it, or they can't change anything because they can't even help themselves. They still will need us, they still depend on us. So they show us in plain sight, right in front of us, and the next day we forget. The next day, we just stop speaking about it. We don't stick together. People don't care anymore. I don't know if it's the spirit that's tired or spirit that just doesn't care, because as tired as anyone could be, this is what I have to do, right? This is what you'd have to do, because you're fighting for your life, for your life. Envision that. You're fighting to get out of this maze. It doesn't matter about not having the energy. I can't forget it, so I will be back at trying to escape mentally, physically, all the ways. So that's not really making sense to me fully. To sit on disgust, to lay in it, to make sense of it. I don't get it. I got the part where I'm tired. I got the part where I just want to sleep. I got the part where I just want to be distracted. But then we always come back to realization, right? We're supposed to come back to the mountain and roar about this injustice, right? We're supposed to speak to the Father, the one that's watching, and plead to Him. Come to Him about it, right? But no, this distraction has rose to the top. It keeps going to where this place of trying to be free, trying to speak up, is shown as desolate. That not only a few show up. This wasn't supposed to be an everyday thing. Not at all. There was leniency, there was grace, there was mercy. But now look and see. What do you see? People that don't even remember that this is a maze. They don't even believe. They say that's just a movie, that's just a myth, that's just a story. You're crazy. You need to keep your freaking feet on the ground. I said, I've been in this maze. It's the maze that you're in as well. Both of our feet's on this ground. Where has your mind gone? They're asking me the same thing. Where has your mind gone? They may think I'm lost, that I'm loony. So they might start calling me Alice in Wonderland. I said, that's exactly what we're all in. In the maze constructed. What more can you do? When people only want to soothe, self-soothe. Now I understand, because I'm human too, my goodness. But that's not what we're talking about. And we know it. Because again, it's about the truth. It's not about what we choose to do with dealing with it. It's the reason on why we have to. Why did you choose to? Oh, because I'm in this pit. Because I'm stuck in it. In this maze. I'm lost in it. And while I was lost, I just happened to get distracted and I liked it. I just happened to be able to soothe my sorrow while I'm in this pit and I can't control it. Oh, I happen to just get addicted to the potions and poisons that they were selling us in this maze. Oh, I just happen to keep falling asleep for some reason while I'm here in this pit. That's all that I'm expecting. Acknowledgement. Acknowledgement of still knowing who you are and where you're at. We understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. I'm sure the one that's selling it to you knows what it's supposed to do and why a person will be doing it. But for you to forget how it started, why it started, then you're totally lost. Then I shouldn't look for you to tell me anything, to lead me anywhere, because you don't know. You no longer see. All you know is what you're going to choose to buy again tomorrow to keep you in this state of illusion. Already in an illusion. I said we got to get out of here. We have to plead to the right person, the right God. But you in this state of Looney Tune, you in this state on potions and poisons, is keeping you in some type of deception. It's already hard enough trying to stay woke, sober. And you're willingly keeping yourself asleep. So yes, it is exhausting. It is exhausting. It is. And you don't have to do it, right? I don't have to do it. I don't have to do anything. Shoot, I could be a homeless person and they choose to do nothing. Fractionless. Or I can choose to literally do nothing, as in not speak about the truth of this maze. How this is a maze, this is a dungeon, this is a prison, this is a pit. And that this world is not about just having children, becoming mothers, becoming fathers, becoming a freaking doctor. No, it's not about that. It's never been about those things. It's about why are you destroying this world? It's about why are people destroying you and trying to destroy you? It's about why are they judging you? Why are they judging you by the color of your skin? Why are they letting go murderers? Why are they letting them free? Why is there so much injustice? You see, that's all spiritual. That's on the spiritual, questioning those things. Because if we understood those things and we had a solution for it, we wouldn't need the things that we have now. We wouldn't need doctors in that way. We wouldn't have these corporations. We won't have all these potions and poisons because they're not natural and they're not produced by nature. No, they are not. And anything that's a natural high will not kill you, will not cause disease and sickness. There will be no potent toxicness for there to be repercussions. So yes, it is exalting. I keep saying exalting. Exhausting. I can't even say that word right, but yes, it is that. Because as I say, you got to work in the flesh, you got to work in the spirit. And in those two things, there's so many other things attacking you. Telling you for what, why. Just be quiet, just relax, just stop. You could be doing this, you could be doing that, you could do anything you want to do. Go out there, meet this person, live your life, go party, have fun. What? Fun in the maze. Get to having fun in this maze. No, I'm disgusted. I've went out before. It was boring. Every time you go out, you just wish you could have just stayed home. Yeah, boring. You know why? Because the people are boring. You know, this place, it just does something to the people. And I see it. Shoot, it's trying to do something to me. You know, being under the influence and things like that, it's trying to do something to me, trying to suck me in. I couldn't stay in that place. I couldn't stay there. And you shouldn't want a person to, right? To stay in a place like that. To indulge in such things. No, you're supposed to be coming from out of that and saying, oh wow. That place is deep and that's not something to dabble with. Because it tried to suck me in, right? And there's many there. And when you come from out of those places, you're just grateful. Because you see how sleep it made you. You know, your actions. And you're thankful that you never went deep into it. That you pulled yourself out of it before you went too deep into it. That's a scary lifestyle because you're risking your life, your mind. You know, you ever come across people that's done potions and poisons and their mind is messed up? They don't talk right, they don't sound right. Like they only got like 2 brain cells left. And they might have stopped years ago, but their mind is still corrupted. Maybe even their body, right? They've gotten diseases. So to say, yeah, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. No, sir. I have to stay awake. I have to stay intentional, right? It doesn't take you to stay in that place. It just takes you to, okay, I was curious and now I see, okay, this is not a place for me. And so, yes, the company that you keep is key. Because no one's going to be persuading you, influencing you if you're by yourself. It takes sacrifice. You know, and that way is narrow for obvious reasons. Who would want to spend a life, not saying this is the life, but who will want to spend a life? Because they don't believe this is a maze. They don't believe this is the actual matrix or this is that. This is, you know, darkness. is sin, this is a life of death. They don't believe that. So they really think that this is life, a life that they can create, a paradise. And then I guess what blinds them is if they're doing good in this life. They've made money. Money? What is money? The system. It's not real. You know why it's not real? Because it's not natural. Anything that is real is natural. You aren't supposed to need money to eat. You know, because the food that you eat, that's the thing. The food that you eat is created by them. So yes, they have a reason to charge you for it. But the nutrients, natures, that was given for free. Nature doesn't charge you for that. So what the freak is money? But because you have a whole bunch of it, you're boastful. And even if you're not boastful, you feel comfortable. Because this fake thing, this material, monopoly, this game, this temporary thing has you comfortable. And the chair that you sit in, and the house that you lay your head down in your relationship, all these things held up by this fake material. But is it really held up then? Is it held up solid? Is that relationship solid? If it's not rooted in truth and anything real. Is your house held up by God's hands, or are you reliant on this material? And I have to tell you, kind sir, if it is this material, you should have fear. Maybe you'll learn something from it. Learn something from fear. Because anything that's temporary won't last. Just like you're temporary and you get old and you get brittle and you get weak. How are you going to afford this place? How are you going to afford these women or these men or these relationships when you can't afford it? When you can't work for it? When you can't hold it up? When nothing was holding these things up truly, because you didn't have God holding you up. It was the money. In this maze, all have fallen asleep. All no longer see. Let alone when God says no longer sees me. When he says no longer hears me. I hear you, Father. I hear you. I see you. I see exactly what you mean. Because you done put me here among them. With the same sneers and the same temptations. No partiality. Just sacrifice and choice. That's it. That's the only thing that shows difference. What am I sacrificing? What am I choosing? Well, I'm choosing to be inside today when I could be outside. I'm choosing to speak about the truth of this world rather than keeping my mouth shut and leaving it up to the ones in those seats. Who are the ones in those seats that you're leaving this to? I'm confused. Oh, well, the president and the who? The paid actor? You're leaving it up to an actor that only gets to run for maybe 4 or so years, and then it's the people that vote again. You're voting for this person. They don't actually deserve it. They don't actually, that's not actually their seat if they're not there permanently. So who are we leaving the justice to? Who are we leaving for them, for what are you leaving for them to tell the truth? For them, you're waiting for them to expose the wicked deeds. No wonder why this keeps getting passed down through generations. The burden, the cup, just heavy, having to carry it by yourself, really. No wonder. No wonder the chains are still on and they're not broken. No wonder why we're still slaves. No wonder why God is delayed. No wonder why the way is broad and many go through. I mean, my God, I can't make this up. This is already written. This is a prophecy. I have to just say it's true. Yes, it is exhausting. Yes, I have to keep saying that. Yes, it is exhausting. Just to see, just to know, right? To carry, to drink. It's sour. It's disgusting. And then there it is, the distraction. Let me plop on a movie. Let me go outside and just like refresh my mind. Let me distract myself from this truth. Let me distract myself so that I don't have to carry this burden, that I don't have to carry the world, that I don't have to care. I don't have to know. I don't have to see evil. There it is. But who would I be? What would happen to the world? What would happen to me? What would happen to the children? And I'm a barren woman, but what would happen to the children mothers? What would happen to the children fathers? What would happen to them? Do you care? If I was to stop speaking up, roaring on the mountain, standing up for what I know is the truth, standing up for my dreams, never giving up on it, never not going back into the world and giving in to potions and poisons, making vows. There's only a few of us left. There's only a few. That way is narrow. That way is narrow. That way is narrow. Already there's only a few. So I'm not crazy. I know exactly what I'm doing. And yes, I'm exhausted. Every time I say exhausting, I want to say exalted. Yes, I'm exalted, right? Yes, I'm exhausted. It's like cousins. Can't blame me. They're cousins. But yes, I am exhausted. Exhausted in a way where like my spirit is. Yeah, because I actually have the energy. You know, I'm up. I'm good. I'm awake. I'm rejuvenized, but it's a feeling inside where, come on, like I'm so disappointed, and I've been disappointed and also disgusted because people view certain individuals as this god, and I see you for exactly who you are. I see you, and that's what makes me a threat, and that's what makes me hate it. And that's why certain people wouldn't like me, certain men, certain women, because I see them when they're trying to play this friend or put this persona on. Or maybe when they see me, they may not like me just because they recognize my spirit. I know all those things. So it's that sort of feeling that I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Because I'd rather just be living. I'd rather just be back home. I'd rather just be with my children, right? My babies, as the beginning. As the beginning would show you, all in unity, all together. All of this is foreign. All of this is foreign. This is not home. This is not normal. This is not my normal, at least. Let me speak for me. My goodness, because clearly we're not all the same. Clearly we're not all children of God. Clearly. I have no choice but to say it. Just like someone would say, sister, that's how you feel. Okay, true. That's right. So let's keep that same energy the whole ride. From the time that I was here to the time where I am with my Father on the throne. That's how I feel. Okay. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to be. That's where I'm from. Okay. All right. Some of us don't want to leave. Some of us this is normal to them, right? Because that's how they feel. This is not a movie to me. This is not a story. This is my life. This is real. This is real. So, of course, any movie that I would watch, right, when I am slick distracted, I really ain't, because I'm choosing to watch movies that align with me, that talk about the truth. That reminds me. So it's not just distractions, there's signs to remind you, signs to direct you. But then there's the ones that try to distract you from that direction. Aren't you tired? Tired of just slaving away. I'm not here talking like someone on a movie, someone in a story. I'm dead serious. Like, real time. Aren't you tired of slaving away? I don't care if you think you got your dream job. This ain't life. Are you tired? And I know it ain't life if I'm not in the seat with my Father. I know it. I don't care what anyone says. But then maybe it's because this is your world. So then again, I have a hard time with separating the two, because I want to think that everyone sees something wrong with this world. That I couldn't be comfortable. I couldn't be comfortable if I was comfortable. To be like, oh, I'm comfortable. My life's just nice. Really? It's not nice or comfortable if children are not comfortable and they're not living nice. I would have to change that. Like, if I'm so comfortable and I have this connection and the opportunity, then you're not going to find me just sitting and lavishing in all that I have. No, you'd want to share it. You'd want to change things with the connections that you have. If you're so comfortable. You say, what makes a person different? If I didn't know, I would say I didn't know. But I can't lie to you because you make it so evident what's so different. Well, why don't you do anything? Why don't you say anything? Why do I do? Why do I care more? Why when I don't even have children? Why when I'm by myself? Like I could be living my own, just living life, I guess. I don't know. Like, what's different? Is that a trick question? What makes me different? We've discussed this. We've come to the understanding of the truth. I'm clearly just not from here. I'm clearly not from here. I'm clearly was sent here to see the wrong in the world and speak of the wicked deeds, because that's what I'm doing. And you're not. And there's only a few that do it for some reason. There's only a few that expose the wicked deeds. Everyone else is trying to act oblivious, trying to act all soft and submissive, like the world is just nice and soft. Well, if the world is hard, I'm gonna be soft. What? No one's saying that you have to be hard, but it calls for it. To speak up, that may be viewed not as soft in most eyes, especially as a woman, because we're supposed to be quiet and it's only spoken when asked a question, I guess. But when are we ever asked anything? So, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to see it as, whatever people have made it, because we know what they've made it. You get the message. Stop making up excuses. Oh, I'm too soft. Oh, I'm a woman. Oh, that's not my job. Oh, I have my own family. I have my own kids to worry about. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. You sound like a fool. That's what you sound like. Because we're talking about your children's future. We're talking about your future. That's the only way your freaking children will thrive, if you speak of the truth. That's the only way that the world will keep going. Because right now it's being destroyed by your lack of work, your lack of caring, your selfishness, your closed-mindedness, your weakness, your no willingness, your excuses. But you want to go to church every Sunday. That is no devotiousness to God. I'll speak for him on that department. He doesn't see that as devotion. So you can just stay home. You can stay home. Maybe that'll teach you something, that if you stayed home, then you see these corporations would cease to exist. And then you would only have but yourself to choose to praise him, choose to read from your own Bible, choose to seek him on any day of the week. But this is just me exposing the deeds of certain people, your works. And we all know we will be judged by our works, because clearly everyone believes, because that's easy. And I'll leave it there.